this is Nusra and I am today at one of the world's largest brewery, Iron Hill, and I'm talking to Mr. Teja Chikuri, the man behind it.
I graduated in engineering and I did my master's in US in electrical engineering. And I worked as a database administrator. So basically I'm technically from an IT background and moved into F&B business. So one of the reasons was I wanted to get into microbrewery in India, and at the time I used to stay in US. So when I'm looking at opportunities in India, microbrewery was just starting up in India. So by the time we started, in Pune and Gurgaon has permissions for microbrewery, and Bangalore was the third city in India for issuing GO for microbrewery. And then we started Prost in Bangalore in 2012. So that's how I got into F&B. It's once I got into F&B, then it became a passion rather than a passion pulling you into business. When I was in US, we started a restaurant chain in US called Godavari. So now we have around 30 locations all across East Coast, and we are in Canada also. And later on we started one more QSR, Indian QSR model called Wanga. And recently we started a Madras Dosa company that we want to be like Subway for dosa. So you get your dosa and you can pick whatever toppings you want. So we want to expand it across the world and very aggressively. So among all these, after all these, we have been trying to get into Dunkin'. Dunkin' is a very good business model, and it took us around 2 years to get approval from Dunkin'. So finally we took over, we bought 9 Dunkin' stores. So we started, from a franchisor, we became a franchisee. So, and we also bought one recently, American bar and restaurant in Cambridge, Massachusetts. So it's called Rosebud. It's registered in American historic buildings. So it was there from 1900s. Early 1900s. It was there from early 1900s. So we are now getting into non-Indian food businesses also. Till now we are only in Indian food businesses. So now we are getting into global food businesses. We already have Prost. So we came up with a second brand, and we have a reason for the second brand. So when in 2016, when government of Telangana, they issued a GO for microbrewery in Telangana state. So all the microbreweries who took licenses, they did set up in only 2 roads, road number 45 and road number 36 of Jubilee Hills, which is the premium area for Hyderabad. So all the mid-segment and the other areas were left out. But now the spending culture has changed, the exposure has changed, and people got more exposure now. So they know what is what, and the earning capacity has increased when you compare that with 10-15 years back. So everything changed now. So, and people are willing to spend if they get the right product, and they have seen, like say for example, if you're talking about a beer here, people often travel to Bangalore or Mumbai or Delhi or other countries, and they're exposed to brewed beers already, so they know what is a brewed beer. But the problem is they can't get it at their town, hometown or city, or some part of the city which they don't have breweries. So that we found that as an opportunity. So the first microbrewery for Iron Hill we started at Visakhapatnam in Andhra. So, and the second one was in Vijayawada, and the third one was in Hyderabad. Hyderabad again we started in Kukatpalli. So Kukatpalli is considered as the mid-level area for Hyderabad. So till date, in all the areas wherever we are the only one player. There's no competition for us. It's like monopoly for us. So now we are in Vizag, we are in Vijayawada, we are in Rajahmundry, we are in Nellore, we are in Hyderabad, and we are in Bangalore. So going further, in Bangalore, we are opening 2 more outlets, one in Hebbal, which is near Manyata Tech Park, and one in Prestige Falcon City Mall, which is near Kankapura. So those 2 locations work has already started, and it's in progress right now. So and the other one is we are doing one in Nagpur. So mostly these 3 projects we anticipate them to be completed by end of this year or first quarter of next year, depending on the timeline for the construction, and construction delays, if any occur, it will be pushed to first quarter of next year. So other than these already projects which are under process, so we are looking at options in Pune or Noida. So west and north is where we are looking at right now. So average footfall for, if you take Bangalore outlet, the average footfall we get per day is around 2,000 plus people on an average, and on average spending is around 1,400 rupees. So on a weekend it goes more than 3,000, the footfall. Because of the size and the space we have, we are able to accommodate so many people here. But like when you compare Bangalore with, for example, Vijayawada outlet, for the size of the outlet, we are doing good. Like say, for example, the footfall there in Vijayawada on a weekday will be around 600 people, and that's a 300-seater outlet. So for a 300-seater outlet, 600 footfall is good. So we are able to do 2 cars a day. Revenue-wise, on a whole, as an Iron Hill brand, we are above 150 crore, and our target is to reach 1,000 crore in 5 years. We think food is very important for a customer. So for example, if you're comparing a food in a bar, so most of the bars, there is an assumption. People used to, most of the bars not used to have good food, at least some maybe a couple of years back. Now everyone is focusing on food because it's the same liquor you get anywhere. Like say, for example, if you're buying a bottle of liquor, you get the same liquor anywhere. So it's the food which complements your liquor. So end of the day, that's what matters, the food. So for example, when you compare Iron Hill with some other outlet, like say, for example, if you take 4 or 5 outlets nearby, and if you compare with them, people come here for food rather than drink, because the same liquid you get anywhere else. So that's when you talk about the regular alcohol. So when you talk about brewed beer, that's again different. So people are like say, for example, everyone has a different palate. Some people, like say, for example, people who like stout, they don't like wheat beer, or they don't like any lighter beer. And people who like wheat beer or who are on the lighter side of the palate, they can't take stout. So beers, people, like say, for example, if I like a beer at Iron Hill, I go to Iron Hill for that beer. So it's the same with beer and food, and both of the things is what you make on your own rather than buying something from a store and selling it here. So anything which you make on your own is very important to a customer, and that's what decides your business. The impression on the brand or the customer, how frequently the customer will come to you. As long as you give a good product and good quality, and as long as you maintain the quality of the product, we think the customer will appreciate that and will keep coming back for that. So, and the food pairing, so we, for example, if you're taking a lager beer goes well with Indian food, and any alcohol or a beer or any liquid which you're drinking doesn't go so well with spicy food. Or for example, if you want to have spicy food with your beer, maybe we have one beer made with rice, which is we use basmati rice for that. So that's the only beer which can go well with the spicy food. Other than that, rest of the alcohol I don't think goes too well with the spicy foods. So we make sure we follow all those standards when we are designing our menu, and the food goes well with the liquor or beer whatever liquid you're consuming. So and the food shouldn't be so very spicy and very oily. That's the basic things we look at. And also when you're making a dish, first thing is it should be good, it should be tasty. The second thing is it should be value for money for the customer. He should be willing to buy that, to spend that money on the dish, and he should think it's worth spending that money. And that dish should keep pulling the customer back as many times as possible. So if you're able to achieve those three things, then that dish is worth to be on your menu. If any one of those three things is not satisfied, I don't think the dish is doing justice. Everyone has their own way of doing business, so they do the business in their way and we do business in our way. But the only thing is, everyone, end of the day, every business is trying to give something to the customer. As long as we are able to satisfy the customer, as long as the customer is happy with you and with your place, that's the thing I think we should achieve end of the day. So one thing I used to observe in US Indian restaurants, particularly Indian restaurants, so we don't smile. When like say for example, a person comes to our table to take the order, that person never smiles. So that's one thing what I as a customer used to expect. So when you go out to a restaurant, you don't want to see someone who is angry or who is sad. You went there to spend time, good time. So obviously the environment should be supporting for that. So that's one thing. I mean, it's not about one person, but that's usually maybe that's how we are made. Trend we'll be seeing is bigger formats. So everyone is looking at bigger size formats right now. But on a whole, I mean, after COVID, people started using technology in F&B. Previously, pre-COVID, there isn't much use of any technology in F&B sector at least. It's all more of manual thing done, like said, manual menus, and most of the work is manual. So now everyone is trying to automate and get technology into place, into businesses. So as long as, like say, if that keeps going further, and if you are able to really inculcate technology into your business, I think it will become much easier to run the business and much efficient way of running the business. So going further, I think most of the businesses will start getting in using technology into their F&B businesses, and that will streamline the process and streamline the business. The number might not have changed, the number might have been the same, but the thing is, the way we run the business has changed. So we are more efficient in running the business, and we are more efficient in monitoring the businesses. For example, if you take Iron Hill, we are more of a franchise model. And for Iron Hill, we don't own any assets. So we are an asset-light model. So we just own the brand and the SOPs and the practices. So for us, it's more important to monitor the outlet performance and everything, like right from your smaller thing like the restroom till the chair where you're sitting. Everything should be well monitored and well maintained. So that monitoring, and it is spread across different cities, it's very hard for you to go physically monitor that every day. So if you have technology in place, that makes your life easier, and you can expand faster.